Democrats now have the bill, the stimulus bill from the House. So regardless of what happens, everybody's going to get a stimulus check. Yay! We're not going to get, a lot of you are not going to get a stimulus check, unfortunately. Especially college students, most of you. If you did not file your taxes, file them now on your own. Because, well, you kind of need to, and make sure your parents do not claim you, or brothers or sisters, whoever. Make sure they don't claim you so that you get your stimulus check. Okay. Now, those of you, they're means testing it. But okay, Democrats got the bill from the House. I already went over how they've been relying on the Senate parliamentarian saying, no, you can't do the minimum wage, right? And I said they can fire her, they could replace her with a new one, they could just ignore her right away. Kamala Harris could help out, get the 60 votes, or just vote against it. You know, they have the majority, right? Not too big, but I mean, come on. So again, the Democrats decided that when they got the bill from the House, which had the minimum wage in there, that they were going to not do anything to get us the minimum wage increase we desperately need, and decided to shelve it, take it out of the stimulus package, and they're going to pass a new bill, the same bill basically, without the minimum wage, and then the House is just, they're going to send it to the House, and they're just going to most likely pass it, including progressives. Incredible. So they're going to pass this package without any minimum wage increase. And I was wrong. The last time, in my last video, the last time that they increased the minimum wage was 2007. 2007. That was 14 years ago, almost 15 years ago. That's the most popular thing that the United States government has done. Right now, the stimulus bill is number one. Minimum wage is like close behind in popularity right now. Democrats are breaking their campaign promise. Instead of raising the minimum wage, they're just saying, oh, well, some unelected official, some just little old advisor told us no. So just because she told us no, we're not going to do it. Let me put this simple for you guys. For those that are not politically aware, right? You just watch these videos because you know me, or you just want some way to get your news. I appreciate it. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Okay. Imagine you had a cleaning company. Just a small little business. You guys go and clean houses, right? One of you decides, hey, you call one of your friends. You say, hey, I want to use you for counsel, but you're not going to be like an official employee of the company. I just want your advice. Okay, well, great. I want to do this with the company. What do you think? I want to add this incentive for my customers. No, you shouldn't. Okay, great. And then you don't do that. But then your business starts to fall because the next company over did that. Right? Think about that, where they're just allowing some person that they can let go of to tell them exactly what they can and can't do, even though they are the elected officials. It's not like, oh my God, we really got no power here. I don't know. And, regardless of what you think, people say, oh, well, it's because Joe Biden needs the campaign contributions from the companies that this would affect, so he's not going to do it. That's a perfectly good analysis. I have a good friend that said that to me. You know who you are. You're going to watch this video. That's an absolutely great analysis. You're correct. Joe Biden does not want to upset those companies because they all donated to him. All of them, right? So, including the dark money people. And I went over that quite a while ago, a month ago, pretty much, I think basically, where I said Joe Biden takes more dark money than any other president in history ever. Or presidential nominee. Just any time ever. Crazy. Not even Obama. Not even Trump took as much as he did. And so there's a second part. This is one of those issues where A lot of these companies are in major cities in this country already that have raised the minimum wage. Seattle, LA, San Francisco, just California, Washington, all of those places that have raised the minimum wage. They've raised the minimum wage. Costco is raising their minimum wage to $16 an hour, and they're all over this country. They're international, I think. I know they're national, but I think they're international. They're international as well. So it's not like, oh my God, we're going to lose money just because you raised the minimum wage. They know that. Now they create these studies so that they don't have to pay you more, so they can keep the profits to themselves and offshore the jobs and offshore the taxes that they have to pay. But guess what? This is one of those issues where it's so minuscule, it's so minimal that they're like, I still get my tax cuts. I still get to offshore the jobs overseas to pay cheaper labor. I still get to, get a federal subsidy contracts from the government so that I can, destroy my companies here and do better overseas. I still get all of those perks, so go ahead, raise the minimum wage. They don't care because it doesn't affect them too much. But there's another part to this. This affects the average American citizen. The average person earning minimum wage is not a high school, it's not a high school student or a college student or whatever, like the Fox News host tried to say, it's high school wages. No, the average person that earns the minimum wage is women, 35 and over. So 35-year-old women of color are the primary low wage earners. So you've got moms and dads and kids who have to work. You got moms who maybe work 2 jobs because one job damn sure doesn't cover the bills, and 2 jobs definitely doesn't even cover half the rent, let alone groceries, things for their kids to go to school, all of that, yada yada, right? Like, you've got all of that, and yet you still have kids having to work in high school and sometimes middle school under the table and in college to help supply the family with work and not have a childhood. So why their guys and their girls, they're going out, their guy friends, their girlfriends, they're going out and having fun, they can't. And then you have low-wage workers who, they're working at a McDonald's, they're working at Starbucks, and they're even working at local union jobs, and they're not earning a lot of money. They're working at office jobs with insurance and all of that, and they're not earning a lot of money. They're earning low minimum wage. They need this increase. Cost of living is going up. The cost of healthcare is going up. Our economy is inflating. Like, the cost of everything goes up, and yet Joe Biden and the Democrats are giving up on you. They're backpedaling on the minimum wage, and they're putting it off. Soccer and Jetty on Crystal and Soccer, on Rising with Crystal and Soccer, I've shared a lot of their clips. He made a great point. He said, it's not that they, even just because this person told them no, that's a perfect excuse for them. Because it's not that that they hate it. They don't hate that. They actually like it because they don't want to do it. They don't want to raise your minimum wage. They want you to keep living a starvation wage of $7.25 that was approved by Republican George W. Bush in 2007. In the middle of the Great Recession and the housing crisis and the bubble bursting and all of that, the housing bubble, the subprime mortgage crisis, like all of that was going on, and yet Bush raised the minimum wage. Now look, you had Democratic majority Congress, so hello, but still, right? George Bush passed it. And yet, what happened? It stayed that way. It's been stagnant. And the Democrats are taking this thing out of the bill for stimulus, even in the middle of a pandemic, when you need an unprecedented response. What did Richard Wolff say a few weeks ago on The Hill and a couple weeks ago on this podcast when I played the clip? What Joe Biden is doing is much too little, much too focused on what the Republicans want, and it's not an unprecedented response. Franklin Roosevelt did the Green New Deal, the AAA, the Emergency Banking Act, the Federal Emergency Banking Act, all of that, because he knew, it was the Emergency Banking Act. He's like, we need to reform our system, we need to provide economic relief to people, and we need to create jobs. Those are the most popular things in this country right now in the middle of a pandemic. And in 2007, those were the most popular topics at that time. And yet Democrats are doing absolutely nothing. Nothing. They are denying you a raise in the minimum wage because they don't want to do it. And the Senate parliamentarian is giving them that out. Oh, well, gee, I couldn't do anything. Don't believe any Democrat when they tell you that. And by the way, those people are like, oh, it's only a month. Give Joe Biden a chance. It's only been a month. Oh, but he's given a $285 million weapons deal to Raytheon. He's bombed Syria. He's eliminated 12 federal private contracts with private prisons, freeing 14,000 prisoners. Not enough. He should have done the 67% of ICE contracts with private prisons. But anyway, he's reversing a lot of Trump-era policies. He can't do this. And by the way, Neera Tanden, which I'm going to talk about, her nomination is failing. It's doomed. She doesn't have the votes. And they're still trying to strong-arm the Senate. Instead, they should be doing that. Strong-arming the Senate for the minimum wage. And they're not doing that. So thanks to the Democrats, you don't get a minimum wage increase. One of the most popular issues in the middle of the freaking pandemic and in the country overall. More than 63% of the people support a minimum wage increase of $15 an hour, and they won't do it. Good luck to the Democrats in the midterms when they lose, because this is well deserved.